Hey friends, how are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing so well, and welcome back to another Sunday Brands video. So each Sunday for the past few weeks, almost months now, I've been taking you guys through different lists of brands that should resell for good money on Poshmark, on eBay, places like that. And today we're going to be covering 70 brands that are from Anthropologie that can be resold for good money. So some of these are going to sell for more than others, and it's also going to depend on the piece. But the biggest thing that you can do to help yourself if you're trying to resell clothing that you're thrifting or just buying online is to know what tags look like. I find that to be the most helpful thing that you can know when you are looking through a thrift store, is already knowing what a tag looks like, knowing what a brand looks like on its tag so that you can find it easily and pick it up and know that you're going to be making good money on that piece. So we're going to go through all these brands pretty quickly, and then I'm also going to be putting up on the screen every time I say a brand the tag that corresponds to it so that you guys can see what it looks like. So let's do this. This isn't every single brand that is sold at Anthropologie, but it is a pretty good list of ones that can resell for good money, and it is in alphabetical order. So here we go. So let's start in the A's. Brand number 1 is Adriana Papel. This has been sold at Anthropologie. It is its own brand as well. And I have had pretty good luck reselling this brand. A lot of their gowns are worn by mothers of the bride and other just like wedding guest dresses. They're very nice gowns. A lot of times there's shutter pleating on these. And a lot of these, especially the longer the better, they can do really well, like $65 to $100 on the resale market. So definitely a brand to look up. Some of their less substantial pieces or plain pieces I would avoid. Then we have a Goldie, and a Goldie makes jeans, and these are so good. A lot of people are looking for them. They're sold at Anthropologie. They're also sold other places, but if you can find a pair of a Goldie jeans, they will go for at least usually $50 and sometimes more like $100. So definitely one to look for. Adriana Goldschmied jeans, AG jeans. These ones are a little bit more, dare I say, outdated, but a lot of them can still sell for really good money. So I like to pick up Adriana Goldschmied, and I find that for me, they resell the jeans probably right around $30 to $40 pretty frequently. So I don't avoid them, but I wouldn't pay up for them. Then we have Akemi and Kin, which is just kind of a more standard Anthropologie brand. Like you'll find tops, you'll find blouses, you'll find tanks, and they're not really usually anything special, but the more special the piece, the better. From this brand, I'm looking at more like maybe $30 on the higher end. Not as lucrative as some of the other ones, but still one of the Anthropologie brands that you should be able to recognize. And then Aiden Maddox is a really nice brand to resell. I have resold a few pieces from him. They have really nice like formal gowns and formal wear again, and some pieces I would say are reselling right between like $50, $100, somewhere in that range. It just depends again on the length of the gown. The longer the better, the more substantial the better. It has ruffles or pleats or sequins, embroidery, embellishments. Those things are all good for value. So then we have Amadi next. Again, a little bit more of a kind of more stereotypical thing you would maybe find at Anthropologie. They have tops, they have dresses, but they're not like special occasion wear. So Amadi, a lot of things were going for like between like $20, $50. And Angel of the North. Now this I believe is one of their, it might be an in-house brand. This one again is a little bit less lucrative than some of the other ones, but if you can recognize Angel of the North, sometimes you can find a more substantial piece selling for like $30, then sometimes $15 if it's like less substantial. So that's when you definitely need to take into consideration the style and the condition. That's not one I would always pick up. Then we have Anna Sui, which is not a just Anthropologie brand, but it can be sold there. And then dresses from her can do really well, so maybe like $50 on up, sometimes $100 on up, but that's a brand to just know in general. Then we have By Anthropologie. So By Anthropologie, I think does really well. Personally, I love selling Anthropologie brands in general, but Anthropologie itself resells $35 to $50 for me quite frequently. Anywhere from tops, dresses, to jeans. They do pretty well, pretty across the board. And then we have Beholden, which I have talked about on a few different brand videos. Beholden is Anthropologie's wedding line, and so if you can find a Beholden bridesmaid dress, a wedding dress, it can resell for hundreds of dollars. So definitely one to be on the lookout for. And then we have Bishop and Young, again another more like kind of stereotypical brand that you might find at Anthropologie. followed by Black Halo, which I personally love reselling. And Black Halo pieces, especially if they're new with tags, can go for over $100 easy, sometimes over $200. Black Halo is an expensive brand, but a lot of their pieces like jumpsuits are really popular from them, and long dresses. If you can find either one of those, I would say you could probably list it and resell it for close to $100. Then we have Blink NYC. Now this brand has lost some popularity in recent months, in recent years, but I would say if you find a Blink NYC piece, first look up the style, make sure it's a newer piece, but also things that are genuine leather from them do the best. So I would look for definitely a genuine leather piece from Blink NYC. I have sold some faux leather pieces that have done well for me, but on the whole, a lot of the pieces that are not in that leather world aren't gonna go for as much, maybe like 25. So that's something to keep in mind. Then we have Cartonier, which is more of like formal wear from Anthropologie. We have blazers and like pantsuits, that kind of a thing. I have not ever picked up a piece from Cartonier just because the comps don't always look great. If you like selling workwear, then maybe this could be good for you, and you can probably resell between like 25, 35 for a piece, but I think it's also lost some popularity. But it's good to know that this brand is from Anthropologie. Then we have Citizens of Humanity. I love selling Citizens of Humanity. It does really well for me, and I just sold a pair of jeans on eBay, I think for like $65 outright yesterday. So Citizens of Humanity, I think, does pretty well. I would say you can resell for around 40 to 65 pretty easily, depending on what style you find. And that's jeans, of course. That's what I'm talking about. Then we have the brand Closed, which is a new one to me. When I was doing research, I was like, oh, that's from Anthropologie. Who knew, you know? But Closed, they make jeans, and their jeans were reselling for like $50 to $75. So a really good one to be on the lookout for. And then we have Cloth and Stone, which again is more stereotypical, just an Anthropologie kind of look to it. More like they have dresses, they have tops, nothing super special, but it definitely kind of screams Anthropologie when you see it. And so that one, again, I'm seeing like maybe like 25, 35 for a piece, depending on how substantial and how sought after it is. And then we have Cupcakes and Cashmere. Now, if you can find cashmere from this brand, that's really good. This brand actually shut down in 2020 during the pandemic, and some of their pieces are really sought after, and some of them can do really well. If they're not super special, I would probably leave those behind, but a good piece could maybe sell 35 to 50. Then we have Diletta, which is more, I think this is an in-house brand as well. Diletta, definitely more on the lower end of Anthropologie, maybe like 15 to 35 in a resale value. Dolce Vita, I didn't realize was sold at Anthropologie. Shoes from Dolce Vita, probably like 25 to 40. Depends though. Some Dolce Vita shoes are really nice and people really love them. So I feel like you could probably get maybe 40 to 55, 65. That's more like probably a substantial boot or something like that. And then we have 11Z's, another Anthropologie in-house brand, fairly confident. And 11Z's makes some really fun pieces. I think that they have a fun vibe to their brand, but that's kind of in the same line as some of the other more in-house brands. So 11Z's, I would say a lot of pieces actually, like dresses from them, were selling around 50 to 65. So a good one to know. Then we have Aerie and Alley, more on that lower end, stereotypical Anthropologie, just blouses, tops, things like that. I would say those would sell more like 15 to 30. Then we have Et Toi, which I believe is only sold at Anthropologie. Maybe it's its own brand, but I have had a piece, I have a jumpsuit, a little romper in my closet that I picked up over a year ago, and it's still sitting, even though it's super cute. So I'm not exactly sure how fast this brand moves, especially since this is not actually in the list of brands, at least on Poshmark. So it might be on eBay. I'll have to check. But for this one, it's a little bit of a harder sell in my opinion, but a lot of the pieces also sell for better money, more like $75. So it's a little bit of a give and take. I still have a piece sitting though, so take that as you will. Then we have Eva Franco, so some dresses, skirts. Those pieces can go for good money, like $50 to $75, which is great. Then we have Fame and Partners, which is more formal wear, and these are really good finds. So this is one to definitely take note of. Fame and Partners makes more like elegant gowns and dresses, things that are gorgeous and beautiful like that, and pieces will resell for $100 on up. So definitely a good bolo to know, a brand to be on the lookout for. And then we have this brand, it's called Far Away From Close. And this one actually has some pieces that are very specific that do really well. And those are ones that have embroidery, and sometimes they are these really nice knit pieces. But the ones that have embroidery, especially this floral cardigan, I was looking, and if you find that specific cardigan, it resells for over $100. Some pieces from that brand will resell for a lot more than others, so you want to definitely double check what style you find. And then we have Feral Robin, which is a shoe brand. A lot of them are reselling for around $30, or at least on Poshmark. I usually use Poshmark to check my comps just because I sell more on that than on eBay. And then we have Field Flower, which I really like finding and selling. They make some really pretty girly pieces. I've only found pieces with flowers on them, so I wonder if they are all floral or not, but those ones have sold for me pretty high, actually, like around $40 to $50, because they are a little bit less common to find, in my opinion, and the tag is very cute, so I love that brand. And then we have Florient, and this one you have to be a little bit more careful with. Some pieces from it can do good, some pieces just flop. So this one you want to definitely make sure your style is a worthwhile style to pick up. More substantial pieces, the better, of course. And then we have Flora Necruz, which is a pajama line, and things were selling right around $30 from this. Then we have Frida Salvador, and these shoes are great bolos. If you find this brand, definitely look at the logo because these can resell for $100 plus. So at least $100 for a pair of shoes is great. Frida Salvador, followed by Greylin, Greylin. Very interesting pieces. Dresses or jumpsuits do the best from this brand. Same thing with Hutch. Dresses and jumpsuits are what you want to be looking for maybe about $50, $65 of a sale price. And then we have a wide range on this next brand, but it's called Jaquette, Jakett, Jacket, and they were selling for a wide range. Again, this brand doesn't have a brand like actual category on Poshmark, so it was just tagging whatever people were writing in for the brand. But you can resell a leather jacket from this brand for $200. But some of them were only selling for $50 because people were listing low. So I would say the comps on this are right around $100 to $200, and that's where I would list at if you found something from Jacket. Really nice pieces, one to be able to look out for. Then we have Jeffrey Campbell, which is shoes, and some of the shoes on Jeffrey Campbell can do really well. The crazier, weirder, the better. So one to know. Followed by Jenny Yu. Jenny Yu makes gorgeous gowns, and these are often worn as bridesmaid dresses, and these pieces can resell for around $100. Then we have Johnny Was. Everybody loves finding Johnny Was. They make amazing pieces that can resell for $80, $100, especially if they're embroidered or have silk. Johnny Was is a great brand to know, and they have so many labels. I've shown you guys a lot of labels before, so I'm gonna just put one on the screen, but this one has a lot of different things that it can look like. Then we have Keepsake, which is also a wide range. Things can resell for like $50 to $100, $200 sometimes. Keepsake, the label, can do really well. Then we have Lamarque, which I could be pronouncing wrong, but they're also a brand that's sold on Revolve. So I feel like maybe I should do a Revolve brand list as well, because I feel like things from Anthropologie, I love selling Anthropologie, but they're not as popular now as things that are coming from Revolve, in my opinion. So maybe making a Revolve list would be helpful too. If you think so, let me know in the comments. But Lamarque, a lot of their jackets are going to be the most desirable pieces, selling for around $100. Then we also have like these feathery tops, which are really popular from them. So Lamarque, followed by L Space, which is swimwear and like cover-ups and like kind of dresses for the beach. And a lot of things from that can sell for around $100 as well. Then we have Maeve, which is an in-house Anthropologie brand, and Maeve, again, is probably going to resell right around $20 to $35. Just depends on what piece you find, but I like selling Maeve. I sell it a lot for right around $30, and I am happy to do that because I get a really low cost of goods. Then we have another brand that can be sold on Revolve, which is Majorelle. And so a lot of Revolve brands resell for at least $50. So that's great. And also it's sold at Anthropologie, so we love that too. Then we have Marquesa, which is a really nice brand. Marquesa, things are reselling for over $100. And so this is one of those like higher end brands that can be sold at Anthropologie. You probably have heard of the brand before. Then we have Marrakesh. Marrakesh, they're probably best known for their jackets, and those are the things that sell the best for them. And so jackets from Marrakesh, you can sell them for around 60 bucks, maybe sometimes like 80, somewhere in that little range, but pretty good if you can find them for a good price. Then we have Matisse, and Matisse is shoes, but I would suggest picking up more so boots because they're going to sell for more. If you find a Matisse kind of like sandal, they might only sell for 15 bucks. Just depends on what your cost of goods is and what kind of profit range you want, but the best thing to pick up from Matisse would be like a more substantial boot, of course. Now, again, please be kind to me about pronunciations in the comments. It is very difficult to have so many names and pronounce them all right. The next one is Monique Louier, which is like a bridal and gowns kind of a brand, and pieces will go for over $100. So again, one of the more high-end brands that they sell, but gorgeous bridesmaid dresses, wedding gowns, things like that. Then we have Moth, which is a just normal in-house Anthropologie brand, kind of in the same line as Maeve, and it does about the same too. Like we're looking at 25 to 35, maybe 50 bucks for a really substantial piece. And if things are new with tags, they're always going to go for more. Then we have Mother, and Mother makes jeans. I think they also have tops and jackets and things like that. It's just that I only ever see Mother jeans as being a thing. Mother is sold at other places. It's its own brand, but jeans from Mother can do really well. Usually like over 50 bucks, kind of the same thing as a Goldie. I would say that those two are pretty close in level. So definitely want to be on the lookout for Mother jeans. Then we have Moulinette's Wares, which is a very gorgeous brand. I love selling this Anthropologie brand, and a lot of pieces from this one are more like silky and kind of more like elevated. I love the sequin looks that they do. Gorgeous pieces, probably around 35 to 50 bucks. I've sold quite a few around there. Then we have Paige, which makes jeans, but also they have shoes as well. I think they might have some other things, but best known for their jeans, and jeans can do pretty well for them. A newer pair, maybe like 30 bucks. It just depends on the style. Then we have Tracy Reese, and also Plenty by Tracy Reese. Tracy Reese is sold at Anthropologie. I would say pieces range around 35 to 50 bucks. Plenty by Tracy Reese is around the same amount, but I personally think Tracy Reese is better than the Plenty by Tracy Reese. If you have experience selling both, let us know in the comments because they're very similar and obviously they're by the same person. So that's very interesting. And then we have Pilcrow, formerly known as Pilcrow and the Letterpress, and they have really been having a comeback. I feel like their styles have been so cute lately. And they also make other clothes and dresses as well, but the jeans can do really well, like 40, 50 bucks. I've sold quite a few pairs for that amount. Then we have the Postage Stamp brand, and it's called Postage Stamp, but it doesn't say that anywhere. So this is one of those that's really helpful to know the tag. This brand will probably resell 15, 25, not usually too much unless it's a dress or new with tags, but just that's what I would expect for around the Postage Stamp brand. Then we have Rachel Antonoff, which is a really funky kind of brand. I like the styles. There's some fun prints from her, but pieces were selling right around $100. So another great one to know. Followed by another Rachel Pally, Pally. And so dresses from this brand, if they're more substantial, they're going for around 35, maybe 40. So not a huge seller like the Rachel Antonoff, but they could, if you find one, be worth it depending on your price point. Then we have Thea Couture. I have sold some Thea dresses for around $100, and I've had experience with them doing really well. I really like this brand. I think I have one listed in my closet, and even vintage ones from this brand can do well. Then we have Second and Babby, and this is a gorgeous formal event kind of a gown, dress kind of a brand, and these are sold on the Beholden part of the website as well, so more like bridesmaid dresses, formal attire, and $100 easily for a dress from this brand. Then we have Sam Edelman, which is sold at Anthropologie. And I do not pick up a lot of Sam Edelman anymore. It just depends on what style you find. But a lot of pieces from Sam Edelman can do well. Boots can sell for 50 bucks. So maybe I need to give Sam Edelman some more chances because some pieces can do well from him. And then we have the Saturday Sunday brand, which is more like casual, kind of more relaxed clothing, more soft fabrics, loungy. And they actually, I think, have changed the name from Saturday Sunday to Daily Practice. So those are all kind of the same vibes. Saturday Sunday, I still sell pretty frequently. but this is what the tag looks like. And then I'll put daily practice up here too. They're pretty much very similar. So I would say 35 around there for those as well. And then we have Shoshana, which is another great brand. If you find something new with tags from this brand, it'll sell for over $100 easily. A lot of things were selling around 200, 100, all over in that area. So really good brand. If it's not new with tags, it won't sell for as much, but I think this is one of those brands too where you might find it more often with the tags than without. Then we have Sleeping on Snow, which I would say that they're cardigans, they're sweaters, things that are like really soft and comforting. Those have been selling pretty well, around 40 bucks. So that one's on the list. Then we have Tadashi Shoji, again, another gown, formal wear dress brand. They also have other things as well, but the dresses from them, full-length gowns, are gonna sell for over $100 easy. And then I would say too, I've even just sold a vintage Tadashi dress for $100. And then I have a new with tags one listed for I think like $300 on my closet. So one to be on the lookout for. We also have Yumi Kim. So another, I think dresses from them would do the best, right around $50. Really great brand. And there's so many other ones as well. But I think that those are the ones that are probably going to perform the best. I'm sure that I've missed a few. There's a lot to go through when it comes to Anthropologie because they do sell brands and lots of them from all over the place, and they'll sometimes just carry one or two items from a brand. So there's a lot there and there's so many more even, but I think that's a good, more concise list, even though it is still 70 different brands to know. But hopefully seeing all these tags has been helpful. So even if you need to watch it one more time and see all the tags a second time, the more you recognize them beforehand, the more you'll recognize them in the store. So thank you guys so much for watching. These videos take a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of research. So if you do enjoy them, I would absolutely love it if you give the video a thumbs up and hit subscribe. That's the best and easiest free way to support my channel. So I'll see you guys next week on Sunday for another brand video, and in between for thrifting and fun content. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And until the next video, bye.